Welcome back to FreightWaves Now, and on this FreightWaves feature, we're going to be talking to one of our newer employees, Director of Public Relations, Matt Stubbs. He's joining us to talk a little bit about the impacts of the Colonial Pipeline shutdown and maybe tell us a little bit about his journey to FreightWaves here.
Yeah, excellent. So, Matt, welcome to the show, my friend. How are you?
I'm doing really well. I wish I could be there with you guys. Looks like you're having a lot of fun, and obviously my home studio here is not quite as exciting. So good to be here,
Us,
though.
us have fun on this show? Never.
No,
Fun's not a
doesn't happen.
requirement.
It's a
It's just
vicious
something that
rumor.
naturally comes out of us.
It's a vicious rumor, just like the shortage of gasoline. What's going on? What's going on there, man? Matt, give us a quick, give us a quick, where you came from and stuff, so we can add a little context to this insight as to what the Colonial Pipeline means.
Yeah, absolutely. So very new to FreightWaves, obviously, as far as the employee aspect, but I've been familiar with you guys since 2018. I actually came here from truckstop.com, where I was doing PR. And before I even got to Truckstop, I had actually been doing public relations, specifically focusing on cybersecurity for a lot of clients for about 12 years. So familiar enough to hopefully be able to speak intelligently about what's going on here.
So even if you can't talk about the actual implications of the pipeline shutdown, talk to us a little bit about the PR nightmare that comes when these companies get hacked like this, right? Because you lose your cybersecurity, you lose trust, you lose customers, you lose clients, you lose work time. Talk to us a little bit about that and how to navigate that PR nightmare.
Yeah, I mean, obviously there's the financial aspect, right? That's probably the first thing that everybody thinks of. But if we think back and look at like the Target breach and all of these others, Home Depot, all of these other very high profile breaches that we've seen over the last year, there's a certain amount of brand damage that comes with that. And repairing that can often be more expensive than whatever the initial costs were. Speaking personally from experience, having worked with clients that not only helped people get through that, but then as many of the people watching and listening will know, Truckstop itself had one of these experiences, and I happened to be the senior manager PR when that happened. And it's not something I would wish on anybody. It's an absolute nightmare having to go through that. So, there's a lot that kind of goes into building a crisis communications plan. There's a lot that goes into how you respond. Timing, obviously, is extremely important. It's a very, I mean, we could probably spend hours just talking about that, but it's very difficult, and it's hard to see other companies go through this.
So, Matt, I'm curious. We were talking before the show, and I mean, obviously, this has been a topic behind the scenes and on everybody's lips. And you see people waiting an hour to get gas and stuff like that. It looked like the 1970s. I don't know how old you are, but I remember when you had gasoline rationing and stuff like that. But some of this stuff has been crazy. Did we need to react the way we did? Gasoline, no diesel, prices going like crazy. There's nothing at the pumps. Zach Strickland getting in a little bit late today because he's searching for gas just to get here.
Right.
It all came back online last night, right?
Right. So the way that I understand it, and hopefully people will forgive me because this is obviously an evolving situation.
Yeah.
Anytime a company is attacked, the problem is that you don't always know how deep within your organization or how deep within your systems these attackers are. So the way I understand, for Colonial, they took the proactive step of shutting down the pipeline in order to ensure that these attackers weren't able to actually get in and cause more damage. People will question whether that was the right move. I say, the experience that we go through, the experience I've seen other clients go through, you don't know. And so oftentimes that proactive step is the best thing to do because it's preventing potential long-term damage. Obviously, the side effects from this, as we see with Colonial, is the fact that with that shutdown, when you look at the time it takes for the gas to be delivered from Texas to New York, I mean, once you've shut that down, waiting for that to ramp back up and then kind of backfill, it's going to be obviously we're going to run into shortages and things. I think they took the right step. As I mentioned before, once you know that you've been attacked, then the question always comes up: how long have they been in the systems? What all do they have access to? Once we get out of this, how do we ensure they don't still have little back doors or other ways to get back in and cause more problems? Obviously, with Colonial, it sounds funny, but they put out their statement like, "Oh, we never meant to cause a disruption. We don't target infrastructure." So hopefully we don't see that again. But It's
They're,
hard
they're
to say.
good. They're good criminals.
Good
They
criminals.
just want to
Right,
make a,
yeah.
just want to
These-
make a few
these are the
bucks. We
good
don't want to
criminals.
harm anybody. We just want to break in and ransack the place a little bit. We don't want to cause any harm to anybody.
Exactly.
Right.
Matt, we've got about a minute left, so shifting gears really
Yeah.
quick. Talk to us about coming to FreightWaves and now what you're going to be doing with us here on our team.
Yeah, I'm really excited to be here. Obviously, as I mentioned, I got familiar with FreightWaves from the events and the media side when I was at Truck Stop, always pitching the editors and getting our news out there. My role specifically is to help build the brand around the tech side of our business, around Sonar, around the data that we curate and how that helps the markets generally. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of crossover between our events, the shows, and things that we're doing, really helping to just build that brand. Obviously, opportunities like this to get on and hopefully share some stories about cybersecurity or whatever. Happy to do that as well. But just really excited to be here and look forward to helping continue the company grow.
We're glad
Excellent
to have
stuff,
you.
Matt. Very, very glad to have you here. I can't wait to see you in person here very soon.
Yeah.
Eventually.
Yeah,
If not, you know what? If not in
eventually.
the next few weeks, hey, F3, that's going to be that big first
Right,
event. Are
hey,
you excited
coming
for
back
that?
with
That's going to be a PR for as much as Colonial's a PR nightmare. F3 is going to just be a PR like out of the park.
Absolutely.
I'm putting that plug in now. You know, everybody gear up for F3. It's going to be huge.
It
We're
is.
really excited.
The Coachella of freight is what it's going to be.
I like that.
Coachella of
Can I
Freight.
use that?
You can
Use it.
use that. Take it.
All right.
Matt,
Thanks,
thank you so
guys.
much for joining us. Go connect with him on LinkedIn.